Well, I hope you're ready for a little bit of this and that and a whole lot of nothing. I just had my Sunday afternoon nap. Of course, I get a nap every day. If I don't have a nap, I can't stay up to watch late movies, and I love late movies because they're always the old movies back in the 40s and 50s. And that was my heyday. I knew all the movie stars, and I went to movie theater every week. I can name you all the movie stars there ever was back then, but I can't tell you the name of a single one today. Don't know who they are, and they're not handsome like they used to be in the old days. Gosh, Cary Grant, Clark Gable, let me think, Gregory Peck. Oh gosh, those men were so good looking, and Paul Newman. Yes, naturally Paul Newman. But anyway, I woke up from my nap and I could hear the rain hitting the windows. It just sounded like it was hail. And it kind of reminded me of when I was a kid. Oh, in the summertime, we loved when it rained. The sun still shining, and it was raining, and Mama would let us stay outside and play in the rain. Didn't matter what we had on. We just had on play clothes. And she'd let us play in the rain. And then if it's raining very hard, she'd make us come in and sit on the porch. Well, there were always 2 or 3 neighborhood kids with us. We'd sit in the swing. We also had a glider on the other end of the porch. Now, our porch wasn't that big, but it was, you could entertain several people if you had enough chairs. So we'd sit on the front porch and watch it rain. You could feel it when the wind would blow. It would blow in on you. That didn't matter with us. But if it started to thunder, Mama was right there saying, "You kids get in the house." Now, the neighborhood kid came in the house with us. First thing she did was make us go to the bedroom. Now, Mama was afraid of storms. So she'd make us lay across the bed, and you had to be quiet. Why did you have to be quiet during the storm? It was kind of like if the lightning found you, it's coming after you. Now, we had those old beds. They weren't iron beds, but they had those metal panels down the middle and sides, and they rounded around the top, and they were metal, which meant they would attract lightning. That's what Mama was scared of. What was always funny was we had to be quiet when we laid across the bed. Didn't make sense. Mama would go through the house. She unplugged every plug in the house, including the refrigerator, because she did not want anything attracting lightning. I can also remember we'd sneak out of the bed and come into the sitting room, which is also the dining room. We had a big upright piano, one of those player pianos, but the player part had been removed. And my sister next to me could play the piano. Well, she played by ear. This was before she got to take piano lessons. She could play anything you wanted to hear with her chording, and she had a very good voice. And we would stand around and we would sing, and she would play the piano, and Mama would make her get up from the piano. You had to be quiet. Get back in there. You get on that bed and you stay there till the storm is over. All my life I thought, what was there about the noise that made Mama think that storm was going to come right in, that lightning was going to get us? But that's how it was when we were kids. And the fun thing was, soon as the storm ended, we were back out on the front porch, on our sidewalk, stomping in the puddles of water. And from our house, you could look up to the top of the hill, big trees up there. And above those trees was the prettiest rainbow you ever saw. Now I'm telling you, we believed in rainbows. We believed in the pot of gold. We just knew if Mama would let us, we could go to the top of the hill and we would find that pot of gold if we could get there quick enough before the rainbow faded. Wonderful, wonderful thing that you could believe as a child. The fantasy world of a child. It was fascinating to know that there's a pot of gold at the top of that hill. If Mama will let us go up there, we can find it. Well, that was childhood for you. Now, it's still raining, and I see the rain hitting the window, and it runs down, just running down the screen. But it'll soon be over. And I'm hoping that we got enough rain to take care of the farmers' gardens and all. That's very important, so important to the farmers. So anyway, so much for the rain, so much for me getting my nap in so that I can watch whatever's on TV tonight. If there's anything good on, I have a problem lately. I don't like the programs on television anymore. So you know what I'm doing? I'm on YouTube. I'm reading my messages. Golly Moses. People have been so nice to me. They're so sweet. There's a lady named Marlene. I can't believe what she's doing for me and how she's promoting my channel. It's just a delight. She's getting ready to move into a new house, and she's been showing a lot of things she's bought, her furniture, and I can tell she has very good taste. And Marlene doesn't know it, but I've just got a knack for decorating, and I'm wanting to help her. I'm just liable to get on a plane and find out where she lives when she gets that furniture moved into her house and say, I'm here to help you decorate. I'm pretty good, yeah. I've got pretty good taste. And I've seen some of the things she shows. And she's on, I don't know why I can't remember. It's Check Chicks. Check Chick, that sounds right. Buffalo Check Chick. Marlene, I'll get it right. And she picked up some pretty good deals at Goodwill's. I'm beginning to think her Goodwill stores are a lot better than the ones we have around here. And if Jan could work up enough time, we'd just get in the car and go. I love exploring, and she does too, because she has a booth in a antique shop, and she knows how to buy, she knows how to decorate her booth, and she picked the right thing. Now, another booth came open recently, and she said she had enough stuff at home. She needed to get it out of her house. She's going to sell a lot of stuff. She had enough for a second booth. So what she did, she took one of her chrome Formica tables that had 2 chairs, and she set up a little, it looked like a little cafe. The man across the aisle said he'd look over there and think, goodness gracious, I'm going to go over there and get something to eat. Because she had it decorated like a pretty little cafe. She had one of those kitchen-y tablecloths on the table, everything around, and it was just delightful. Well, wouldn't you know, she didn't have that booth up 2 days till somebody came in and bought her table and chairs. They left her booth empty. What was she going to do? So she was trying to figure where she was going to get well, she already had another table and chairs sitting in her kitchen, but she didn't want to part with that yet. She came by my house. She's helping me. And I said, I've got too much stuff. I've got no place to store things. And I had two tables. I had my nice big drop leaf cherry table. I had moved it into the living room area under my television on the wall because I didn't have any place else to put it, because I was using an old oak table that had 5 legs. It had 3 extension to that table, so it's pretty good size when you put it in my dining area. You had to walk around the table, and that's one I've been using for the last couple of years for decorating tables and all. I always put a nice, pretty handmade tablecloth or something on the table when I do my table settings. So I get tired of something after so long, and I said, time for a change. And I said, Jan, I don't need 2 dining room tables. Take the oak table with you. It's old. You can put a pretty kitchen-y tablecloth on it and set up your booth again, just like you had it before, only this time you'll have a 5-legged oak table instead of a Formica top table. We both love those Formica top tables. That's what we grew up with in our kitchen. And so she's looking at it like, how are we going to get it through the door? And I said, wait a minute, let me show you. I pulled that tablecloth off and I said, there's 2 extensions in this table and there's another one in the kitchen. All we have to do is take those extensions out, and we did, and we pushed that table together, and we managed to push that table right through my living room door, onto the elevator, down through the lobby, and the doorman was there, and she was driving her pickup truck. Gosh, all of us ladies that do this collecting and selling and what have you, we need a pickup truck. So she's got one, and he helped her put that table in the back of that truck, and off she drove. So yesterday, she put that table in her new booth. Now, I haven't seen what it looked like yet, but I came back in my own house, and I looked around, and I said, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? I've let her take my table. Well, you know how you have those, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I said, no, I needed to do that. So last night, here I am, this old woman with this big, the drop leaf table goes almost to the floor. I had to scoot that thing across the room and move chairs and move boxes and move this and move that to get it in the middle of the dining area, right under my chandelier, which is behind my head. And I managed to get it there. And I've got a little tablecloth on it and a flower arrangement right in the middle of it. So I'm ready to set new tables on a cherry table instead of an old oak table. And Jan has already set up the oak table in her booth. So from there, well, what was going to put in place of where the table had been sitting? It was sitting under my TV's on the wall. I don't like it at all. In fact, I don't even like to see a TV in a room. It just ruined the looks of the whole room. But we all can't live without our TVs. So I said, what am I going to put in place of that? Oh, I've got an old radio cabinet. One that stands on the floor. It's a beauty too. Sitting in my bedroom. You can open the front of it, open the door, and an arched door. Just open that little door, and I've got all kinds of odds and ends. Everything's odds and ends, you know. Sitting in that cabinet, and I thought, I've got to empty this thing before I can start the scooting. I scoot 2 inches here, 2 inches here. Keep going. Keep going. You'll make it. You can do it by yourself. Now I know I've got boxes of those little things that go under the legs of your furniture. I don't want to have to hunt those things. And some furniture's too big for one person to be able to lift it to get that little pad. What do you call it? I forget that thing, what they're called. But you know what I'm talking about. They glide across your carpet and across your floor. They're wonderful, wonderful. But I don't want to have to hunt those things. I can manage, yeah. I can do it. So I said, okay. Just the thoughts of having to empty all those little candle holders and a dozen different size candles and things. That wasn't a good thought. I think I can get it in there from the bedroom into the living room just like it is. And I did. I started pushing. I pushed this side and then I pushed this side little at a time. 2 inches at a time. I've got patience. Came through into the hall, round the corner. It's sitting under my TV now. And it takes up less space than my dining table did. So that makes it look like I've got more room. Well, that's not so. So anyway, that much rearranging has been done, and I got 5 big plastic tubs carried to the basement. We have storage units in the basement, and folks, Jan's friend was with her today when she came to set me up with, set my channel up so that I monetize, you know. Goodness gracious, I looked at all those instructions. I said, it'll never happen if I have to do it. So she sat here working on it, and she had a friend with her, and her friend helped me. We have big grocery cart, great big one, in the basement to use just for moving purposes. And he helped me load up 5 big tubs of stuff. And you know what I mean when I say stuff. You're looking at it behind me. Look at the wall. What do you see over there? Dishes, lamps. What's over here? I don't know how many flower arrangements I've got lined up in my bedroom. They're just lined up. I just go in, pick up one, set it on the table whenever I need it. Just depends on what color. And that one sitting right there is my favorite one. It's poppies. Bright red-orange poppies. I just love them. You can't see them too well because the lighting's not that good. And that's an old tarnished silver plate pitcher, water pitcher. I decided I liked it better tarnished than I would clean because, well, I guess you know how that is. It's too much trouble to sit and clean those things. So I learned to like them tarnished. And it really does look good. I like it. So anyway, that's what I've done today. And I know there was something else I was going to tell you. Don't know, can't remember what it was. Got my thermos here. This thermos goes with me everywhere I go. It's got Dr. Pepper in it. I'm always prepared if I get thirsty for anything. And it stays nice and cold. Everybody needs a thermos, especially when they're in the car driving. You notice I'm wearing a different pair of glasses today. I love anything that has that leopard print to it. And I want a new pair. I need a new pair of glasses. So my eyes are changing. I've got to get to the doctor and get these eyes examined because I already know what's ahead of me. You can't get to be 87 years old without having to have cataracts removed. I'm certain I have to have that. And Jan is amazed that I can still read. So she's amazed at anything I do. But she's kind of nice to have around. She helped me a lot. Never dreamed a daughter could be that useful. So she is though, and you're finding out for yourself that she is. So let me think. If I have anything extra to tell you, don't think so. I've just got to find a place for more boxes. Marlene, is there anything you need for decorating? I just opened up a great big plastic box thinking it was full of books. It was full of picture frames, and the one right on top, it wasn't a real wide frame. It's just about that wide, but it was an ornate frame. And I looked on the back. Oh yeah, it was an old picture frame. There was no doubt about it. And it's in perfect condition. Guess I'll have to find me a picture to go in that frame. Then I'm going to have to move something over to one side. Another nail in the wall. Another picture on the wall. That's okay. What difference does it make? I don't mind that. I can show you right now. If I can get behind me. Let's see if I can get this turned enough. Can you see those pictures on the wall? I made 2 of them. See the jeweled pictures in the middle? I made those out of old jewelry. The great big picture is what you'd call an old master. I love those girls, and I would have to describe the method I used to put those prints on hardboard. And after I did that, I finished them with glaze and stain and what have you. And when I got through, it looked like an original oil painting. It does not have any glass over it at all. And I've got about 4 more of those. I did quite a few when I was living in Tennessee, and people loved them. And they liked the old pictures. They wanted to buy them from him. So they bought the picture, and I would get them framed because I knew what kind of frames they needed. Now, the other, one of my favorite, well, you can see there next to the cabinet, that's my sister at the top. That's my baby picture at the bottom. You can't tell much about it because there's a shadow, but one of these days I'll show you that picture. It's kind of cute. So let me go around to the other side. You get to look at me. Yeah, I hope I'm finding it. Oh, there it is. See that picture on top? Has the watermelon, the bird. I guess that's a Baltimore Oriole. That was one of the first ones I did. And it's in a rustic frame. It's my favorite. No glass over it. You can wipe it off with a damp cloth. And it has the old master look. You see the little oval frames? Can't show those to you either. But they belong to my older sister. the one you just saw the picture of. These were her husband's grandmothers. My sister died when she was 99 years old. So it was her husband's grandmother's pictures that you see hanging on my wall. She gave them to me. I'd always wanted them. And when time was growing short for her, she asked, is there anything you want? I said, I want those 2 pictures. Those 2 pictures show a lady and a baby in each one. And they're just such sentimental pictures. I really wanted them, and she gave them to me. That was just a few months before she died. So you can see my English Abbey, some of the dishes. Well, those are just cups and saucers hanging on the wall. And, of course, you're looking at Fostoria right behind me. I've got to get around to describing all that. That's going to take time and trouble to show it to you. I want to do it properly. I want you to enjoy what you see. So I'll be doing that on my dining room table one of these days. Now let's get this back a little so you don't see the wrinkles on my face that much. See my little leopard print glasses? Yeah, I kind of like those. So, anyway, that's my Hoosier cabinet back in the background. And again, there's my sister's picture. She was a beautiful girl. Take my word for it. She was pretty. Yeah, that's how it is. So, anyway, I'm going to set this back down. And I haven't had supper yet. But I've got a roasted chicken in there that I need to take it off the bone. And I'm going to make chicken salad with it tomorrow. Chicken salad takes care of my life several days a week when I make it. And when it's good, it's delicious. So, it's simple. It's a simple recipe. Everybody's used it, but my friends and my family say Pat makes the best best chicken salad. It just happens. Anybody can do it. So, look at my pretty red poppies. Look at all this. These are what we call odds and ends. Yeah, my odds and ends. You're just looking at the top edge of the Fostoria I bought a week ago. Yeah, it's already been a week. And I've got yet to wash it all. It needs cleaning. So I'll be doing a show for you on Fostoria again. I've already done 2 shows, but this one will be a little bit different, I hope. Now, I think that's about all I've got to talk about today. I had to take out a whole bunch of my favorite books off the top of my dining table when I moved it. So I piled them here on the end of the couch. You know how you do. You work, and I put these, you just stack them on the end of the couch till you get this other thing done. So I'm sitting there, and Jan's working on my iPad, getting me set up for monetizing. Folks, I'm going to make money. Going to make money doing what I'm doing now. Isn't that something? Never thought that day would happen. But I'm looking forward to it anyway. Hope it happens. Anyway, because I want a little spending money. I always needed a little spending money, you know, to buy those unnecessary things that you've got around your house. And the nice thing about living alone, there's nobody to say you got too much stuff. I already know that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You're doing the same thing, aren't you? So, but when I was sitting here and all of a sudden the the books at the end of the couch slid off. They made a streamline across the floor, and I got to get down there and pick them up, find a place to them. And you know what? There was some cards that fell out. They're postcards. And I thought, well, what are those? They are postcards I picked up once when I was with Jan at the Greenbrier in West Virginia. Now, don't leave your money for your kids and your grandkids and your nieces and your nephews. You spend that money. You go to the Greenbrier and live it up. It is beautiful. It's expensive. But I've been there 3 times now, and I love it. You will just love it. That's where Robert E. Lee, Henry Clay, you know those names. They used to go there, and they went by horse and buggy. It's a 5-hour drive from my house. Can you imagine how long it took Henry Clay? His house is right up the street from me. You think about how long it took him in a horse and buggy to get to the Greenbrier. Look it up. And I've got a book on the Greenbrier. Very interesting information in that book. And it's a beautiful place to go, and the food is wonderful. Well, I just can't say enough about it. But, see, that's where the bunkers are and were back. I don't remember when they built the bunkers for the President of the United States and for the staff, Senate, and all. If there was going to be danger of an attack, they had a train that took them straight from Washington, D.C. to the Greenbrier, and the bunkers are underground. Now, we got to go through those bunkers. And let's see, I'm looking at a picture. It won't mean much to you, except if you look behind these men, that's the Greenbrier Hotel. It's a gorgeous place. In April and early May, tulips everywhere, blossoms everywhere. It's gorgeous. At Christmas, they decorate to the hills. Now, I think that might be Eisenhower. I'm not sure if that's Eisenhower in the middle. In fact, let me see if it tells on the back of the card. This print is so tiny. I'm going to see if my magnifying glass will tell me anything. I'm doing well if I can see it. President Eisenhower and Prime Minister St. Leonard at the Greenbrier for the North American Summit Conference meeting, March the 26th, 1956. Okay, that's what this picture is, and you see all those people standing behind those men. That's President Eisenhower in the center. But if you want a special place to go, and actually 3 days is enough time. You don't have to stay a whole week or whatever. But these other cards show bunkers. Now, you think of having to have the security and be hidden away where the enemy can't get to you. This is one of the rooms. These are beds lined up. They had their infirmary. They have a theater room. They have everything for the convenience in the event of an attack. the enemy can't get to these people and to the president. So see how those beds are lined up? Well, we went through those bunkers and we went round and round from this hall to that hall, and I thought, oh my gosh, if they get too far ahead of me and I get lost, I'll be stuck in here forever and I won't be able to find my way out. But the bunkers are worth going through if you ever go to the Greenbrier Hotel. You'll find what life could be like. And we hope we never have to experience such a thing as that. So anyway, I just showing you those because they fell in the floor with the rest of my books. And I'm going to let you go now because I've talked nonsense all the way for 35 minutes. And I've got my nap over with at 9 o'clock. I think I can probably find a good movie on TV. If not, I'm just going to start reading everybody's messages on their channels. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've told you. Like my glasses, I'll show you. Let me take them off so you can see. They got that little leopard print. See the leopard print? Yeah. But I want some cat-eye glasses like these. That's going to be my next choice. Cat-eye glasses. So, I'm glad you joined me. And I'm hoping you stuck it out through the whole video. But this wasn't at all what I had planned for tonight. I had another story. Because Father's Day is coming soon. I've already got last year's Father's Day story. In fact, I could just say, look at last year's Father's Day story and I won't have to write a new one. But I've talked a lot about my mother, but I don't say much about my dad. So I was thinking for this Father's Day, I need to talk about my dad. He was a good man. And you will find his life very interesting. He hasn't accomplished anything great, but I think you would appreciate the story I will tell about him. So stay with me. I just love having you in my living room. But as long as I keep your shoulders and head above, you can't see the rest of the room. Yeah, I'm not a great housekeeper. I got too much stuff. So you be good. I think it's quit raining, and I believe we got enough rain for the farmers. So I'm going to be out looking for fresh vegetables in a few days. You do the same. Help those farmers. So good night to you, and sleep well.